What's going on, everybody? Happy day 3 of American Craft Beer Week. How's everybody doing? What's up, Duchess? What's up, Pam? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday, and I'm ready for a beer. Hey, existing is good, Duchess. Existing is good. One day closer, Pam. One day closer to Friday. Up, 3 o'clock, people. Let's do this. Boom. What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today, we're going to be looking at another new brewery that I've never reviewed before. These guys are out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and today we're going to be looking at some Unapologetic fruit from Brewery Vivant out of Grand Rapids, their jam jar. This is from their Unapologetic fruit line. And it's a blend between a fruited farmhouse ale and a sour ale. So it's a mix between both. And it's it's brewed with blackberries, plums, raspberries, and blueberries to come out at a whopping 5% ABV, which I'm pretty excited. So let's see what it says right here on the can, where it kind of gives you any idea of what their Unapologetic fruit line is all about. So our Unapologetic Fruit series is about making craft beer that is stuffed full of big, ripe fruit. We add all of that fruit fresh from the farmhouse, fresh to a farmhouse ale. We make the fruit pop even more by blending it in a sour ale. So this is kind of a mix of a farmhouse ale and a sour ale as well. So it's going to be interesting how they kind of how they mix the two pretty well. But before we crack into this guy, I want to talk about Brewery Vivant a little bit because these guys are actually doing something really cool. So they are located, like I said before, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and they are the world's first LEED certified microbrewery housed in a refurbished historic funeral home in the East Hills neighborhood of Grand Rapids. Let's see, live the bon vivant with the bon vivant with neighbors, brewers, and monks alike enjoying rustic European-inspired beers along with outstanding locally sourced dishes from their pretty much farm-to-table kitchen. So, Brewery Vivant promotes living the good life by brewing culture-inspired beers, serving a from-scratch menu, and building a sustainable community one beer at a time. So that's really cool. I don't know, I think that's pretty badass that it's a brewery that's located in an old funeral home. Kind of makes me think, I'm curious if that place is haunted at all. I don't know. It just maybe gives me an idea of that. But I'm curious when they say they're LEED certified, that's really cool. So all their certifications and all that kind of stuff are showing right here on the website, which you can find down in the description below. But without further ado, I'm really curious how this one's going to taste because it's getting those like farmhouse ale flavors where it's like kind of the barrel aging kind of situation along with the like regular sour ale kind of where it's like a bunch of fruit flavors. They're trying to add like jammy aspects into this one, but get it to where it's thick, heavy, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to try this one out. So without further ado, let's crack this guy open and see what this guy's all about. Let's see what we get on the smell. Oh, okay. Definitely there's some funky flavors coming up there. I'm thinking that might be coming from the barrel aging situation. It's not so much of a winey smell, but there's definitely I'm thinking the plum gives like an extra little funk to it, but I'm thinking those bright berry flavors that come through really nice, gonna have a nice kind of purplish, pinkish, reddish color to it. Yeah, let's pour this guy out and see what we're looking at. Drinking out of my 311 beautiful disaster glass, and yeah, look at that. Definitely has more of like a pinkish hue, which I'm not against at all. Little bit of a head, not much. A little kind of like a whitish, pinkish kind of head to it. But look at that color. This is a beautiful color of beer. I don't know, definitely I like that kind of reddish pink kind of color to it. Definitely getting some of those like jammy berry kind of flavors coming out really nice in this one. Kind of reminds me of there's like a jam that I don't know if it's the blackberry or the blueberry that's giving me those jammy smells, but right along with it there's like some kind of metally funk kind of situation, but not in a bad way. It's kind of, when I think of that, I think of how it's barrel aged and kind of like there's metal like rings around it to where I don't know if you'd get some of the metallic taste from it barrel aging, but I'm excited to try this guy out. So without further ado, cheers everybody. Yeah, that's absolutely delicious. Wow. So it's definitely bright and effervescent. Definitely, it's like a mixture of having like a jammy mouth, like a thick, heavy mouthfeel with like that bubbly kind of mouthfeel as well. It's very, very interesting. I think they knocked it out of the park with this. Holy crap. The jam flavors in this, when it comes to like the blackberry and the blueberry and the raspberry, are so explosive, so pungent, and just you get that kind of funk from the plum that makes you know this is kind of like a farmhouse ale. I think with the barrel aging, it kind of gives it that the different kind of tart aspect to it. It's definitely, I don't want to say it's more on the tart side. I've had definitely tartar like fruited sours and fruited like farmhouse ales before, so this is definitely on that mid-range, almost getting up there to that tartness level, but not bad at all. They're definitely letting these berry flavors kind of speak to you a little bit, and knowing that they kind of that blends really, really well. I'm really impressed with this so far. But let's read the actual description of this guy so we can see what it's all about. So, the crew at Brewery Vivant say they loaded up today's brew with an unapologetic amount of blueberries, plums, blackberries, and raspberries. As an apology is actually necessary, if anything, you owe them a giant thank you for crafting a tart and tangy brew that really does taste like something you scooped out of a jam jar. To create this reddish purple beauty, the master brewers over at Vivant blended their house oak aged sour ale with a tangy farmhouse ale, creating a base beer that inspires just a bit of pucker with hints of wild funk. Then they conditioned the brew with heaps of real jammy fruit, creating rich layers of sweet berry and stone fruit flavor. It's so fruity thick you might be tempted to spread it on toast. So definitely I can agree with that when it comes to having the fruity flavors be so explosive. The fruit notes in this are so similar to like what you would taste out of a jam. It's just without getting that kind of jam mouthfeel where it's like kind of like that jello-y situation. But it's like, you know what I mean when you think of a mouth, like a texture of a jam. But the flavors of it are they're 100% there. When it comes to the mouthfeel, it's very effervescent, very bubbly. Definitely, it's an easy drinker because it's being a 5%. I'm really liking that oaky kind of barely funk that's going in there, and I think they used that plum to kind of add more of that funk in there. That's really nice. The smell is very interesting. I don't want to say it's kind of like a turnt smell, but it's definitely something that reminds you of something that's been fermented, and that's has like the smell of see, the best way I describe it, I don't know if I can describe it where it doesn't sound bad, but it has like a river rocky kind of smell to it, but it's actually really enjoyable. But that's like when it comes to fermentation, having that like river rocky kind of funk is a common thing, I would say. So it's definitely, don't let the smell of it fool you. The flavors in here when it comes to the berries and the blackberries and blueberries and the raspberries are so explosive, so jammy in flavor that, yeah, this is definitely a very, very solid one. I think on tartness, I'm going to give this probably almost maybe like a 3.25, 3.5 on tartness. It's not too bad. But, yeah, flavors in here are absolutely delicious. So, let's see what people are saying about this one on Untappd. So, let me pour a little bit more in here because I'm really enjoying this guy. Okay, so on Untappd, like I said before, the Unapologetic Fruit Jam Jar is 5% ABV, and with over 1,419 ratings on Untappd, this guy has an average rating of 3.89 out of 5, which is pretty damn good, I would say. So let's see what people said. Somebody said they purchased this at Martha's Vineyard. Really? Okay. One of your favorite Brewery Vivant. Wait, one of his favorites from Brewery Vivant. Definitely try this beer if you like sours. So they rated it at 4.5, and then somebody rated it at a 3.75, saying, let's see, not bad, but too much mixed fruit together makes it impossible to distinguish their individual notes. I kind of disagree on that when it comes to, because each of those berries have their own distinct flavor. But I don't know if it's really a bad thing if you can't really taste those three of those berries together, like separately, because those three berries mix so well together just to kind of incorporate such a strong berry flavor, and especially since they're trying to kind of incorporate that jam flavor in there as well. It just literally tastes like a mixed berry jam, and knowing that they added those three berries in there that probably pair the most together when it comes to mixing berries, yeah, I think that's one of the best parts about it, is like you may not be able to distinguish each individual berry note, but the strong cohesive flavor when it comes to them mixed together is just outstanding. So let's see, this guy purchased it at Brewery Vivant, saying with a 4 out of 5, saying seems a bit sweet, but I can imagine it would seem bitter if it wasn't as sweet, and said it was jammy. So another 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, 4.75 out of 5, saying really does taste like a jam jar, super fruity and jammy, but not extra sweet. Awesome. And let's see, another 4.25 saying there's a ton of fruit of this excellent beer. So, yeah. This one's outstanding. Absolutely a really big fan of this one. Because just, if you're a fan of jammy flavors, and if you like a nice kind of tart sour ale when it comes to like, if you're a fan of like a farmhouse ale or kind of like a barrel aged sour, and still enjoy really bright berry flavors, this is going to be the one for you, to be honest. This one's fantastic. It kind of hits every note that you would want when it comes to like having a farmhouse ale and having like a fruited sour kind of situation, which mixing them together and being able to still hit all those marks when it comes to how this thing tastes. Yeah, they did an outstanding job. Outstanding job. So, let's see. Let's look at what they have on their website when it comes to products. Because I'm curious. So, it looks like right now all they have on their website when it comes to being able to buy something online is just gift cards. Which, that's fine. I'm not really upset about that one. You can get gift cards. People can go over to Brewery Vivant and kind of experience it for themselves, because just looking at it, it's a very wide... It reminds me of like a very old-fashioned like European like beer house, to where all giant tables, like shared seating with everybody. You're not going to be really have the much opportunity to like sit alone, and it's like, so you maybe have like tables that'll fit four for like groups of four, but when it comes to those long kind of, when I think of tables like that, I think of how it would be at Oktoberfest, where you're sharing pretty much a table with how many different people. So it's going to create a really awesome experience that you can kind of meet new people and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. I'm curious of what their food menu looks like. So they have a dinner menu and a lunch menu. I'm really curious what their dinner menu looks like. So they do stuffs like chicken chowders. Let's see, appetizers, meatballs. Let's see, frites. Also, they kind of stick to maybe some more like the European style stuff. So they have poutine as well. So steak fajita, pickled onions and cilantro, tortilla strips, and curds, coddled eggs. So they're doing like a steak fajita poutine. Holy crap, that sounds good. And they do duck nachos with like duck confit and all that stuff. They have escargot there. So yeah, very, very European, very like French or like styled food there, which I really like. I would definitely like to try. They even have roasted bone marrow, which sounds fantastic. So they're trying to stick to French styles of food and all that kind of stuff. I can see this one. What can I see this beer pairing well with there? With having like berry flavors. Let's see. I don't know if it would pair with their beer cheese. I don't think it would pair well with the bone marrow or duck nachos, because those are things that are so rich, it would kind of just mellow out too much for you. You can possibly pair this with some of your desserts or stuff. I feel like this would pair. They have a vanilla panna cotta over there, which I think this would probably pair well with. Because I don't know, just having like those vanilla kind of notes in there, along with like different like citrusy, mixing with that berry jamness, I think would mix pretty well. But yeah, they have a really cool variety when it comes to different foods there. But I don't know if just because if this would pair with any of like their more rich dishes, because it would just kind of, you really wouldn't taste the beer, because the richness of the food would kind of be a little bit overpowering to me, I would think. But yeah, I would definitely recommend. This brewery looks freaking awesome, to be honest. Really, really cool. So if you're ever in the Grand Rapids area and looking to try a very, very unique beer drinking experience when it comes to going over to a brewery, I would definitely recommend going over to Brewery Vivant for sure. Because if you enjoy those like Hofbrauhaus kind of style seating, where big tables, all that kind of stuff, get pretty much talking to anybody around you. Probably really, really, really friendly people over there. And just over there to have a good time. I'm really, really a big fan of this kind of style. So let's start getting into our ratings here. So, can art. I really like this can art. Definitely all the colors are showing all the berries and all the fruits they use in here. So you got the plum, the raspberry, the blackberry, and the blueberry on there. So really, really cool colors when it comes to that. So they actually chose to go with like the full plum, and then have the look where the plum's cut in half, seeing the pit and all that stuff. So I think that's really cool. The colors are absolutely something that would catch my attention when it comes to seeing this at a liquor store or bottle shop, just because there's so many bright colors and so many darker, like reds, purples, blues, and situation to where, for me, that's something that would catch my eye instantly. And one other thing I kind of like about this label, I don't know if it's like a laminated feel, but it definitely has a different texture than your normal beer label would, which I really enjoy. It definitely feels like it's a thicker, more heavy-duty label. So, and being able to like show that they used every single bit of real estate they could on this one is awesome. A really, really big fan of this can art, 100%. So I'd give this an easy like 4.5, 4.75 when it comes to can art. Really, really cool. Really like the texture of the can, along like the label, along with kind of just showing all the berries, having a really clean kind of just logo on there with the rooster and then jam jar, and then showing what kind of beer it is, along with like the kind of fruits they use to brew it with, and it kind of giving you the story of like what they do with their Unapologetic fruit line, how it came to be, kind of situation. Yeah, really, really cool. So, if I got this in a flight at Brewery Vivant, would I get another one? Absolutely. I really like the funk kind of flavors in this, where it kind of lets you know that it's not your everyday like fruited sour kind of situation. That farmhouse ale always kind of, that token farmhouse ale funk that gets added, or just kind of has its own kind of flavor on its own, and still be able to keep those like pungent berry flavors when it comes to the jammy taste, but may not have the mouthfeel to it. But yeah, outstanding. Really, really big fan of this one. So, I would 100% get another one of this if I got this in a flight. I would try to see if I could get like a 4-pack to bring it home, to be honest. Really, really good. So, let's see what my final rating on this guy is going to be. So, like I said before, I like the jammy berry flavors in here are so explosive. So, like, has that nice sweetness to them, but with that plum kind of farmhouse ale funk kind of sticking in there to kind of add like a little bit of a tartness, but possibly creating a little bit of tartness, I would say, from the blackberry or the blueberry, to where it's not too overpoweringly tart. There's a nice sweetness to it. It's not too overly powered when it comes to the kind of plum farmhouse ale funk that's in there. So, yeah. I'm going to probably give this a solid like 8.25 to 8.5. Really, really delicious. Would highly recommend this if you're into like a farmhouse ale or even a fruited sour, to be honest, because it's something different. It's something unique. You may not be used to that kind of funky smell that comes off it at first, but it's not bad. It's not a bad smell. It's definitely, you can tell it's unique. Like I said before, it has that kind of river rock kind of fermentation smell to it to me. But really, really solid. Big shout out to Brewery Vivant for putting this one out there. I really want to see if I can get my hands on more, because it's just a unique one. It's very, very unique. Flavors are awesome. The berry flavors in this are some of probably the best berry flavors I've had in a fruited sour yet. And just like, because it adds such a good sweetness, it's probably the most accurate berry jam flavor that I've had in a beer yet. So I would highly, highly recommend this one when it comes to, if you're looking for a nice kind of tart beer and you want like very, very accurate jammy berry flavors. Yeah, you better search for this one, because like I found mine on Tavour, but you can probably, let's see if I can find on their website if they show where they can, let's see. If they distribute out of the state, we'll find out now. Let's look. They also have the Monk Club if you're interested, to where you can kind of get like a, let's see. It's $65. New membership is $65 for 2021, and you pretty much you get part of the Monk Club, and you get personal glassware personalized with the alias of your choice. Your glass is kept behind the bar for your use only. $1 off any beer or cider pour at all times. $2 off pours on Tuesdays, so Monk Club Tuesdays, and then $2 off standard growler prices anytime. Add $1 if your growlers add $1 off on Growler Wednesdays, and then you got 10% off merch at a retail shop, beer not included. And then you have option for birthday beer, cheese, and beverage, plus 20% off retail, not including beer, on your birthday. So special perks include with any ticketed event maybe have during the year. So pretty much if there's a special event, those perks still kind of go through, and you'll be able to use those kind of perks while there's an event going on. So I think that's a really cool thing. It's not that expensive for a monk membership over there, so that's really cool they do that. And so pretty much you have the option to get a monk membership over there until pretty much they have enough spots. So where if it runs out, it runs out. But really, really cool stuff over there. So again, big shout outs to Brewery Vivant for coming out this one. This is a really, really solid one. I would highly recommend people to pick this one up. If you can't find a spot that kind of distributes their stuff, make sure you keep an eye out on Tavor. They might have another jam jar drop coming from them hopefully soonish. I know this was probably around like beginning of the year / end of the year kind of release, just because of the heavily fruited farmhouse thing. I would consider that more of like a cold weather kind of situation. I don't know. But yeah, I can drink this one year round, to be honest. But overall, yeah, very, very solid brew. Would definitely recommend this one. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. A solid 8.25 to 8.5. Absolutely delicious. If I haven't heard me say it before, if you're looking to try this one out, keep an eye on Tavor. They might have another drop that when they do another release. So, and if you can't get Tavor, there's also plenty of other kind of beer subscription services that might be available to you. Just got to kind of search around. My biggest recommendation to kind of find beer delivery services is just get yourself on Untapped. They have coupons and stuff for different kind of services pop up all the time. So if you want to find a different kind of beer subscription service when it comes to other states being able to get stuff to you, you're more than welcome to do so. But let's see. On the other hand, that's pretty much it, guys. So again, thank you everybody again for tuning in. You guys are amazing. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button on your way out if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, shoot a comment down below if you're watching this with a beer. I would like to see what people are drinking while they watch my reviews. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it, guys. If you're new, oh yeah, one more thing. If you're new to the channel, like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live doing another review. But yeah, I'm going to sit back and enjoy the rest of my Wednesday, guys. So I'm going to sit like I always say it. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And cheers, everybody.